So I guess fairly happy if you look over the 4 games. Each game we were close to 50 and we kept, except for Italy in that first match. So overall, yeah, it's when you play a team like this that's really physical. I won't say they don't really want to play rugby, but they are really disruptive. But that's not an excuse for us making so many errors, and I guess we have to take some not blame, understand that if we chop and change teams like that, we'll be building squad depth, but you'll lose rhythm. And I'm glad the guys could the last 25 minutes get some rhythm into the game. So yeah, I think we're fairly happy. One can always do better. But it was definitely a team that came out. It was very stop-start. It was before every scrum, every line out, there was somebody sitting on the ground, and it was really tough to get some intensity into the game. But I think what we expected from them was physicality and being disruptive, and they certainly did that. But at the end, the guys handled it, but I don't think it was the performance of 80 minutes where we handled it. Yeah, no, I think they did fairly well. It's interesting, to put guys in a game like that. In the first game, you look at the scrums and you think it's quite okay, but then there's some general play errors, how you stop a maul. You pretty much in sync with guys that's played a lot for us. And then if one or two of those guys missed their roles and stopping a maul, there was a maul try against us. I know Sia was also off with that maul try, I think. So there was one or two. So maul is also as technical as a scrum sometimes. So yeah, and in general defense, they made some errors. So one can't look in isolation just at the scrums. You're 100% right, they did well in the scrums. But they had some errors in attack, being on the right places and clean outs and ball carries and so on. So we thought giving them 45, 46 minutes, we've seen enough, and that was the scrums that is solid enough, and we can fix the general play stuff with them. Well, Sasha is not necessarily the first choice 10. So, we've got Mani that is pretty much good in song, and like you saw when Andre came on, he's also pretty solid with that, So, I think if you just look at Sasha's goal kicking, the first 4 he missed, and then I think after that he did pretty well. He, in the warm-up, got a pointer, and we weren't quite sure if we must push him through into the game, but he wanted to play, and I don't know if that's an excuse for the way he kicked that pulse, but he definitely ran it out. And no, we like flyers that tries things on the field, and not just to play in the little box and be just all safe. And he was certainly not one of the guys that made the most errors today. There was lots of guys that made lots of errors because of the disruptive way. When I say that, I don't say that negative about Georgia. They just really in your face and thrive on spoiling, and they do it really well. So yeah, no, I'm not frustrated with Sasha. No, it's only his second start for us this year. So he's young compared to our other flyers. We'll announce 36 guys for the 2 Australian matches. And within that 36, there will be 1 or 2 guys we experiment with, but the bulk of the squad will take out the guys that we thought are the most settled and fits the best into how we want to play. The nice thing is now, I think, 48 guys, so how many guys has played for us now this year, and including last year, there's also a couple of guys that played for us. So we know all personalities, all the guys now are training, what is the intensity of training, what do we expect of them on and off the field. So, some guys won't make the 35, 36, we'll probably go 36 for this first 2 games against Australia. Some other guys will just go and play Curry Cup to make sure they stay fit and get back into the mix. Even guys like Jaden, Jordan, Kieran, Renzo, there's quite a couple that we would have loved to give more game time. But these 4 matches we always saw as, listen, we're going to experiment a little bit. So eventually getting the score lines that we did, we're fairly satisfied with. But as you rightly said, the Rugby Championship is definitely a step up to Tier 2 nations, a Barbarian game, and the Italy matches. So, we'll be going full on to try and win those first 2 Australian matches with a 36-man squad, which we'll announce on Tuesday. But by that, it doesn't mean the guys who's not in that 36. There will be 9 guys on standby for if there's an injury. And then after that, we'll announce the squad for New Zealand, and then we'll announce the squad against, which a lot of them will overflow. There will be guys that is in most of the squads, or in all three squads, including the Argentina 2 matches at the end. So, yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, the body is good. Obviously, performance-wise, could have done better. Could have had a better start in the game. But as coach said, the later the game went, the more we started getting the intensity in there. I thought, we could have started with more intensity. They came in exactly what the coaches told us they would do and what we saw, and they were hard on that. But we later in the game, we were able to put some phases together. We could have started better. I mean, if you look at the 4 weeks, I think each week was different. I thought last week the guys' intensity was very high, and today we didn't pick up from where they left off, only later in the second half, and that's what shows you about the group. Everyone that's getting an opportunity, you gotta take it, and we definitely had to be better in the second half, and we did, but we're just going to keep on building as a group, and as coach says, when we're happy that guys are getting opportunities and obviously getting this kind of exposure, most importantly, we just got to start with what we know we're about.
I don't think they played heads up above the rest. I think they had solid start. I mean, Maru was tackled back on the 5-meter line, running straight at the prop put him 2 meters back, but him being settled in the scrums, getting his line-out throws, mauling really well, made his tackles really well, made a few errors here and there. But no, overall, to have Vincent who's played here and Faf, when he came on, unfortunately, he also got a HIA. But no, Marlins goes as a future Springbok. I don't think he was outstanding tonight, but he certainly showed that, if one only settles after 3-4 matches, really, and he'll start to feel comfortable in the environment. But his personality is definitely something they loved it. Yeah, I mean, for them it was really special. All their fathers and family and everything is here, so it was special for them. And very few guys in their first test match win 55-10. So it was a good score for them. But a lot to learn. But not just for them more experienced players as well. We certainly didn't win perfect today. Who was the other one? It's him, Faf, Vincent, and who's the other? And Kocha. Yeah. So and Kocha was very busy. So no, the guy's got potential. We wouldn't have them. I think Boan also did well. I mean, he's not from here, but he really did well. But let us go and look at the tape or at the game nice and analyze it proper, and make good calls when we announce the squad on Tuesday. But no, we think he's got the potential. Yeah, I know everybody wants to see the players that they like and enjoy and have preference on in the squad. Current squad, Peter Steff is fit. Franco Moster can play 7, Sia can play 8, Kwacha can play 8, Kobus can play 7. Jasper will be available for the last All Black game again. So overall, Kobus Visa, we just want to make sure that if we have a guy like him on the bench, can he cover 7 and 8 for us? A guy like Elrich used to do that for us. Ben Jason used to cover 7 for us. Kwacha is out and out 8 who can do it for you, the job for you there. He was very busy when he came on. So no, we learned a lot from Kobus today, and I think he learned a lot from Test match rugby. So fairly, he's definitely not Jasper yet, and I think there's definitely certain areas where a guy like Evan still top him, but it's his first Test match, that he starts at 8, and I thought he was pretty solid.